Hi guys, how are you? Ay, ay, ay. Whew. I'm late to the party, y'all. Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss B. My name is Felicia. I'm your host. Hi guys. I had to tell my son to lower his whatever he's doing. Welcome. How you doing? I apologize. I'm late. I'm super late. We step out with the kids. You got back and hustling, bustling. The time was gone, y'all. Mom first. Sadly, mom first before y'all. I'm so sorry. But I had to get my kids situated before I get on here. How you doing? How are y'all doing? Hmm? How you doing? You're welcome. Today I'm super comfortable. Make my put my hair up. Super comfortable today because it's super cold and I didn't feel like doing too much. Plus, y'all don't appreciate when I come on here looking good, like I'm going out or somewhere. So y'all welcome. I'm hiding in this little corner. My people, then, how's life treating you today? Today's topic came about something I watched, and it just, as always, you guys already know that's how it be. It be like that. I'm laughing because someone, someone, someone said, "How do you come up with these topics?" I will tell you guys all my topics that I have in my topic banks is running out. And, I got to start doing some more meditation to come up with some of these topics again because they are, I've used almost all the topics that I had. So, yeah, I'm looking for topics. So, if you have any things that you would like us to cover, please feel free to send them over to me so that way we can discuss it as family. Um, sorry, man. Um, Today we're talking about, how most African emphasize on getting married to someone that's highly educated and all of that. So we just want to cover that. Nothing really big for a Sunday night, just to chill and hang out. Okay. I am going to be on here at least twice because I need to do the banner so we can. Okay. You guys, my daughter wants more food. Hi guys, sorry, it is 9 o'clock, which is when I really want to start, but I always come here at 8:30 just to do small talk, but we're on here already, so let's get it going. The topic under discussion tonight is does it what is it? Okay, let me come back around. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy, oh my God. You guys, I'm singing. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Choo 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 choo. Choo 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 choo. Choo 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 choo. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Happy and you know it, clap your hands. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, Riverside Bro, how are you? Today we're coming very comfortable to you. It's so cold over here, you guys. I feel like we're in a minus degree. It's freaking cold. I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm late to the party, but I'm here. I made it. I made it. That's all that matters, right? At least I'm here. At least I didn't cancel. We were out. Welcome, welcome, Riverside Pro. Tonight on said, does a higher level of education lead to better decision making? What do you think? What is your thought on that? Let me get comfortable. Crisscross applesauce. That's what we're doing here tonight. We're gonna crisscross. Oop, should fall down here. Y'all can laugh at BB people. Y'all welcome. Y'all welcome. Let's talk about it. Let me pin the link in the comment section so we can get started. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy new month. Let's get things in retrospect. Think about the year from January 2024, all the beautiful memories, the beautiful thoughts, the tears you cry. I know, like, every year, right before we cross over, when we're at church, I'm always like, I get in this really emotional mood. I don't know what happens, but I get in this mood where I'm like, literally in tears, just overwhelmed with like happiness, and just I'm almost like confident that I'm about to cross over. You guys, only the man upstairs has the power, right? But I'm always like confident that I'm about to cross over, and then just think about all the hustle and bustle we go through. Like, how do we even made it through this? So I'm always thinking about that when we're about to cross over. There's always tears, but I will tell you, last year when we were crossing over, I didn't cry. I don't know why, but when we were crossing over, I didn't cry. We didn't go to church though. Maybe it was the scenery. I guess we were home watching the service and just praying, and with the family, and reading the Word of God, and just praying, making those moves and things that we want to talk about, what we want to do. But last year I didn't cry. But literally my entire life, I always cry when it's about time to cross over. What River says, person River says, higher level for Basa women in any relationship is a recipe for disaster. I even finished reading the whole thing here. But Will, why you laugh? Why you laugh when you put it here? Why you laugh at the end? He said, when Basa women know book, they can be hard to deal with. Their expectations are hard to keep up with. That's why our forefather used to get them from the village. That's a good one. I love it. I love it. Well, why are you laughing again? Not laughing yet. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't say the thing and then you laugh. You're killing me. Oh my God. You're making me laugh. River Saffron, be careful where you put it in. I'm Basa Mano Womo. Ah. Hey, yeah, you are getting in trouble with us. Oh. Let me pin the link in the comment section. If you're watching, shout out, say hi, say hello, tell us what you're watching from. You guys, we got some new followers. Welcome, welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee. We appreciate you following. We hope you will love it here. We talk about everything and all things reality, anything we're going through, live events. We're not experts of any of these subject matters, but we are here to share our opinions and talk about things that we're willing to learn from or learn about and hear from you as well. So if you're here, we say thank you. Thank you for stumbling upon us, and we hope you stay and set your notifications so whenever we're live, you will come here and chill with us. As always, the link is always uh, pinned in the comment section. So let me go ahead and do that right now so we can get started. Okay. Make sure you share the show, invite a friend or two, and tell them Fifi's live, your best friend. I can be anything you want me to be. I promise you. I can be anything. But I can't be your wife because I'm already married. Somebody already took that title. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm full of jokes tonight. Yeah. Mhm. River says, bro, when I was writing this topic, I was laughing. I said, River says, bro, can become for the Basa people name again. Ego. You sound like my brother. My brother said, oh, now the education made all the women and came out with women right. He said, you're supposed to be somewhere. Talking about bikini, earlier talking about book. Look at these days when you tell woman something, she ready to jump to the highest level. All right, guys, welcome to the show. We're gonna share the show so we can get started. I hope you're watching. Watch with your friends, your family, invite them. Tell them Fifi's live. We're here. We're waiting for you guys. Come and join us. Don't be shy. The link is pinned in the comment section. You're more than welcome to come over here. This topic was actually triggered by a show that I watched. Not really a show, but a clip. I watched a clip, and when they were talking, a lot of the women was men and women that were in the room. The men was like they would rather get a woman that's a little bit educated, but not too educated, because the women that are well, we'll jump into that later on. But then I just thought about it. I was like, this make a really great topic because does education really play a key role into like partner decisions, like making decision who you want to partner with or a lifelong partner or things like that? Why is it so important? Why should you have someone that is educated? Why most men prefer that, or am I just speaking out of line? Why is it important? I know society is making a difference on that, but why is it important? I want us to talk about it because I myself, I would like to know. Is it even important? Does that even matter? And then last night too, I think while we were talking, that kind of made me like to go back to that topic, to go to this topic to think about that and be like, huh, yeah, we should talk about it because we talk about some women that are very highly educated, but they're not wanting to seek any higher paying job. They just want to stay home and take care of their family, which is very, very important in life. But then why seek the higher education? Why men learn or wants those women? I want us to talk about it. I want to hear from you. So make sure you follow the link in the comment section. You can click on it and sit right up here with me. We can be up and personal talking about this, okay? So let me go ahead and share the link, and then share the show so we can get started. Welcome you guys. I hope your new month, or the new December, we're in this the last month of the year, the last month of the year. I know for our 1 year anniversary I wanted to do something like some type of, but then like schedule got all mingled together. We didn't really do it. I think I want to do, I want to pick somebody from this show that have really, one of our fans that have really been following along, been doing everything. We want to find you a gift. We'll buy you a gift. I'm not rich. We don't have a lot, but we want to say thank you. Let's see our true fan. Who are our true fan? We want to do something. Something, someone who's been dedicated to our show, sharing it, and just, you know, participating in our topics and things like that. We really want to do something. Let's get you a gift. Maybe get you a Let's Talk with Miss V shirts, or get you a mug or something. It's not much. We just want to show our gratitude. I think that's important, to always appreciate people and tell them thank you. I'm somebody who loves to give stuff to people, but unfortunately, my pocket is not too deep yet. Not yet, just yet, you guys. Not much, just a little bit. We want to do a little bit, a little gift. Maybe a perfume. I have this perfume that I only use it during the winter, and that perfume, oh my goodness. It's French. I can't tell you guys because I don't want all of us to be smelling the same. I want to be the only person smelling like it. So when I walk past you, you're like, I, I work, all my colleagues, when I wear this perfume, it's a lot. It's not overpowering, right? But it's like when I walk really close to you, like let's say you're sitting here and I walk really close by, that's when you can smell that perfume. And ooh, I love that perfume. Even like it's bad. It's a French. It's a real cologne, not perfume, but cologne. It smells so good. It's very subtle, soft. Hmm. Some of y'all need to inbox me. You'll give it to your women, and when you just need a little dab, just a little bit. You put a little bit behind your ears, your neck, and your elbow, and you be like, "Ooh, I smell so good." It gives you that boost. A good perfume is very, very important. This Christmas, I'm so excited. My sister-in-law is going back home, and I'm wrapping some presents to give to my mom. So we'll see how her Christmas go. Monsini, yeah, no, Monsini. Somebody asked me one time, do you speak Basa? I said a little bit. Trust me, when I was little, I used to ring that thing. Nobody can tell me nothing. I could speak Basa, but now I understand more than I speak. And my mom's even surprised that I still speak it when I talk to her. When she says something, I'm like, bueno, I want to. That's your identity. You can't forget it, you guys. You have to be able to, like, you know, somebody asked me, how come when you really start to speak, like you have a little bit of an accent? I said, because I don't want to lose my identity. I have to have an accent. What are you guys talking about? Like, I don't care where I'm at, how far I've gone, or who I'm talking to and where they are. I need to have my accent. And I need you guys to understand that I'm not just Felicia here. Some people confuse me to be Black American. No offense. Sometimes some people think I'm from the island, from Barbados or the Virgin Island, but I'm not. I am a born. Pasa, mano, get. Oh, so River says, "Pro, you want to know the difference between cologne and perfume? We're gonna have to teach a class on this one yet. So a perfume is kind of like soft and it doesn't last long. Like it's just supposed to be like a spray, like a body mist spray, in my opinion. Like it should be soft. Like if you wash your clothes, it comes off like right away. A cologne is something that's very like is meant to last more than 24 hours, in my opinion. And like you don't need a whole lot, you just need a little bit. Yeah, but they had Eva said perfume is woman and cologne is for men. Yeah, but women have colognes too. Women have cologne. Like the one I'm talking about is called cologne. It's a cologne, and it smells so good. But yeah, she's right. Generally, if men are prefer to, they prefer to men perfume as cologne, and because it's stronger, you guys have, I guess, it's more macho. But perfume is kind of like soft and subtle. Like it's supposed to be like feminine kind of. But a cologne, the one that I'm talking about is French, you guys. And they have the oil, you know. Ooh, when you rub that oil on. All right, y'all gonna make me start talking about other stuff I ain't want to talk. You're welcome. Welcome, Eva. How are you? It's been a minute. We haven't seen you. Welcome to the show. Tonight we're talking about, does higher education make um does that help with good decision making in a relationship? Let's see. You guys, I'm just sharing the show so we can get started really quickly. Almost done. I have to share them with all our platforms that I'm on and pages, so that way we can get more people to get engaging. Let's see. What was this other question? You say, I think most women will want an educated man. It will boost their prestige in society. Yeah. I don't think men will want an overeducated or highly educated women. Men don't want them. Men don't want domestic competition. Just my opinion. I think so too. I think so too. But you know what? There are a few men that prefer a highly educated women, and it's kind of funny. Um, Majority of the women that are very highly educated, we see them like they end up with men that are not like educated or very high above. Is very There are very few percentage of women that are highly educated goes for the same um career field, like if I'm making any sense. Like they usually go for people that are kind of like the same, what's it called? What's the word? Like at the same educational level. Like you see that, but then there's like power. There's that power dynamic to understand who's in charge, who's not, and then the man is kind of like fearful. But I agree with you, and that's what I wanted us to talk about. So, you guys, I'm done sharing the show. The link is in the comment section. Please, please don't be afraid. Share, 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 share the show. Invite your friends. Tell them Fifi is live. Okay. Tell them I'm here. We are ready to get started. Oh, I can't even share the show. Oh, you guys, this is crazy. Oh, no. I could share it in my story. I guess I can. Okay, let's get started. So let me pull my notes up. I have a few notes. So I think Riverside Pro kind of already started it for us. Does a higher level of education lead to better decision making in a relationship? In relationships? I don't think so, honestly. I know I'm not supposed to pick a side, but these days I do. Um, I don't think it necessarily, it depends. It depends. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I think it's just kind of like depends on the individuals and their upbringing and what they're exposed to. Um, Remember that, bro? Please don't forget that it's cold today. You guys can see I'm wearing a sweater, and I was like, my hair gonna be in the bun in the back, and put my little bandana on. I don't care. Today, y'all gonna see me. It's cold. It's really cold. We took the kids out to see the Christmas lights and stuff like that at the mall. And that's why I was late. Actually, you guys, we got back a little bit later than we expected. So that's why I was late starting. But it's cold. Make sure you wear your winter boots. Make sure you wear your winter boots and your North Pole jacket, your hat and your gloves. Make sure you're all ready because it's cold outside when you know that Christmas song, baby, it's cold. It's cold outside. I don't even know the wording. But it's super cold. Grab your hot coffee, sit by the fire, you guys, and drink some hot cocoa or hot chocolate, some coffee, whatever you're into, some tea. I'm into tea. Um, so even though I'm saying to you guys, I don't think, let's go back to the topic. Does a higher level of um, education lead to a better decision making in a relationship? I think it depends on the individuals, right? It depends on how you were brought up, how you were raised, and what's happening in your life. What are those people that are guiding you? But in reality, according to research, yes, a higher level of education is generally associated with better decision making in relationship, as they can provide individual with enhanced cognitive and social skills. Wow, that's what study says. It says, so you guys, I'm gonna go back to my notes here. It said, as it can provide individual with enhanced cognitive and social skills, allowing them to communicate more effectively, resolving conflict constructively, and making more informed choice within a partnerships. This can potentially lead to more stable and healthy relationship. So study is saying yes, it's definitely important for you to have some type of education. If you're highly, because you ideally, it's not that your education is going to make you think that way, but you have actually had the opportunity to do cool, you've had um projects that you've worked with people, you've had to think how to work along with people. This is how I'm viewing it based on whatever study is saying. You've actually interacted with more people. It helped you to understand different type of communication styles and things like that. So study is saying yes, it is better. It helps you to make informed decision. That's what it said. Not me. I didn't say it. In my opinion, I just think it depends on the individual, because some people can really be highly educated and they're not ready and they've made up their mind. And I guess they're just talking about the average on the average, because we can't just look at one person and say this and that and that. So key points to consider when we're thinking about this topic about does it matter? Does higher level of education lead to better decision making in a relationship? These are some key points to consider. Yes, and this is what study is saying. Why it's important to have higher education, because it helps you to be able to distinguish between different type of situation. So you guys, I was watching, those pop the balloon. That's something me and my husband watch all the time. I think it's funny. Some of the things that people like exit people out on, like somebody will say, I don't she looks great or he looks great, but his shoes or his shirt, like come on. Those are things that you can change. Like I can get it. Somebody will say, "Oh, I don't like him because of his height." Hey, that's your preference. You don't want somebody short, right? But that's something that person has zero control over it. They could change it, they will, but they can't change that. And then also, like somebody says, "I don't like how her eyebrows it's shaped." Come on, really? This is why there's so many single people. I was watching that show and I was just like, anyway, let me get back on track. So, key points to consider. So, when we're talking about a higher level of education, we're talking about something, you have a college degree, you are a profession, you have a profession that you're working in, or like, yeah, we all have the basic. We have high school and then we're gone by our business. But if you went, let's say you're a highly skilled worker, you've had the opportunity to interact with so many people, like study says. I didn't say it. It said, according to research, yes, a higher level of education is generally associated with better decision making in relationships. So instead of, if I didn't know, if I had to interact with multiple people and I haven't like had the opportunity to even like have a concrete discussion with people to be able to make some decision on my own, and instead of me just thinking outside of my head, I will sit and think. And this is why I said this on this all the time. The reason I really like the educational system in the US, even though it's a flaw right now, but it helps you to think independently, and it helps you to do critical thinking. Like there are so many ways you can look at one questions and get answers from that, instead of me saying, oh, why was that? Like if you come home as a mom, right, you came home, you left instruction and you told your child to take out the trash, and your child will you come back and the trash is still there. Instead of you going off, there's, I don't know if you guys have heard about the power of why, right? There are so many questions with that. There are so many answers. It's not that the person didn't want to throw the trash out. Well, why didn't you put the trash out? There could be multiple answers. There could be one, she was tired. Two, she didn't even want to listen to you. Three, she was probably preoccupied with something else. Four, the trash was heavy. Five, like whatever. There's so many answers to that why, but instead we're so focused on that. So if if let's just say, and I'm just thinking in the concept of why researchers believe if you're highly educated, you make better decisions, because if you came home and your partner is, let's just say on the phone with somebody, instead of you just jump into a conclusion, you probably start thinking, okay, maybe they're having a discussion about certain things. Like you think outside of the box. So you start thinking critically instead of you just jump into one conclusion, because you have the power to think outside of whatever could that be. Or you woke up in the middle of the night and your partner is on the phone. If that person is a profession, why are they on the phone that late? You're gonna ask a question, but instead you're gonna be like, are you just gonna jump to another conclusion? No, it helps you to think and make informed decisions. Okay, you guys, let's jump to the key points. So being highly educated, according to research, it improves communication skills. Yes, we do know there are cases of people who have poor communication skills, but the reason I would say they have their researcher are thinking this ways is because one, you've actually gone through the process where you had to learn how to communicate. You're working a profession where you have to work with multiple people, and you need to learn how to communicate instead of you jump into conclusion and like, just routing out like, oh my gosh, this person didn't do the work, this person is, no, you will put things in perspective. Again, you will make informed decisions, things that are beneficial to whatever the situation is. Okay, so let's jump to. I feel like today's show is kind of like me giving you information. I need you guys to say something. Is anybody saying something in the comment section? What do you guys think? Let's see. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let's go, let's go, let's go. So let me go see what the comment is saying. I don't know. Things are not popping up on here. Who's all watching? Let me see you guys. Say hi. There's 5 people watching right now. But let's get to our key points. Why researchers believe it is important to have a higher education and how it benefits us making decisions in relationship. So some key points is it improved communication skill. Higher education often activates better communication abilities, which are crucial for expressing needs. Like it helps you to actively listen. And that's the topic we were actually going to talk about on here, active listening, right? What are those things that are associated with that? So listen actively and navigate disagreement in a relationship. So, hi, Emmanuel, you're watching. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, you know, researchers are saying, for me, I just felt like being highly educated, yes, I don't think is necessarily helps you to make all the best decision in the world, but I can see where researchers are coming from with this one, right? And these key points are very, very important. So basically what researchers are telling us, it helps you to with improve communication skills. So someone who is not highly educated, basically, and no, and this is not like a, I don't know, how do I say? I'm not trying to put anybody down or, and nowadays there are people who are not highly educated and they're making money. But are they making the proper decision um to be able to navigate those funds. Like we've seen people that are famous, they're rich, and now there's a show called Where Are They Now, right? And I'm not saying because they're not educated, maybe they weren't really informed or they weren't educated in how to manage their money. So education don't necessarily have to be where you're sitting in a classroom. We learn each and every day. If you have a wild network where you're speaking to people and back and forth, like you're connecting with people and you're learning a skill set and you're knowledgeable about it and you're self improving yourself. To me, I call that educated. Like you're trying to be better. You might not be a doctor, you might not be a lawyer, an engineer, or whatsoever, but just keeping yourself informed about a subject matter and being informed and trying to navigate your emotions and knowing how to handle that is very, very important. Um, River Pro said, just trying to see if communication and education are. Sorry, end your comment. Let's see. Let's go to the point. Well, so we talk about one of the key points is being highly educated in a relationship where researchers believe it helps you to make a more better decision. It helps with your decision making. One of the supporting details is that it improves your communication skills. Basically, you listen actively and you know how to navigate agreement. So there was a young lady on the show. I watched this clip and she said she want a partner who understand what an argument is, the differences between argument and a disagreement. You know, like a lot of people, and that was something really, I was really glad she said that because a lot of people do not really know the differences between we disagree right now and an argument. Like we're not arguing, we just disagree. We can disagree to agree. So I think that really helps you to navigate that.
I agree.
Hey, River says pro, welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. You in the North Pole today?
I beg you, I took the laptop, I came upstairs. Oh, it was,
They were called today.
I tried to, I was gonna buy man. I sat down for 5 minutes. I said, wait, let me.
All right, be by me, Shanga.
I said, let me come upstairs. Yeah, man, I gotta lock the door because the children, when I'm down there, they don't really go there. But when I come upstairs, they, my,
Yeah. My kids, I locked them up in the room. That's how I was late. They be running behind me. Mommy,
yeah.
mommy. My daughter be like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm busy."
Ah,
Yeah, welcome to the show.
yeah,
So, the discussion, I was trying to understand your comment. You said just trying to see if communication and education are, what do you mean?
yeah. I just put a dot there because I couldn't
Mhm.
find the right word, but yeah,
They're similar?
yeah. I mean, in essence, I wanted to see how communication and how they call it education in a relationship, how they really work together. Because a lot of time I have seen, for me, I think communication. I mean, that's
Hmm.
just my opinion. I think communication is more of an intelligence,
Emotional
kind of
intelligence?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's I don't know unless because we trying to go broad with the understanding of education, or we talking about the level of education fee. Because I've seen people who they are highly educated, and you go in a home, communication wise they throw in the kitchen sink at each other. So yeah, I would think communicate, yes. I mean, it does help, but yeah, I was trying to research how they really, if I mean, if not how, but if they necessarily work together, But as far as the first part, yeah, your first point you gave, yes. I mean, look, being educated, it kind of helps in a lot of relationship, with the because firm good decisions are being made, where one person is not going north while the other person going south.
So,
And yeah, yeah, and yeah, a lot of times it help, especially I would think mostly because when we talk about these when we talk about education in a relationship, how it enhances a relationship, how it helps, the first thing that comes to our mind is a financial decision, how,
yeah.
yeah, how to spend money. Because people who are educated, they make better decision when they spend it, they
Not
not.
all the time.
Yeah,
Some of them love to splurge.
yeah, hey, like today, we were talking about being content. We on it because we in my Bible study, we on we on a nine we we doing a whole 10 commandment series, and we on a
Oh,
ninth
nice.
commandment. Yeah, what is it that thou shalt not covet, take
Mhm.
away things. Don't try to have the urge for things that belong. So we were talking about people, the younger kids today, they're not being content, and my church is more diverse, white people, and I told them, I said, look, when I was growing up, I remember my dad bought me a pair of shoes, that chicklet heel shoes, and I wore
Yeah,
that shoe for almost from second grade all the way. Yeah, so back then we were content with what we had. So, but nowadays children want the new Jordans and things. So, yeah, to just put it in this context, when we people who are educated, I think, because we were also talking about obsessive spending. You know how you just go to
right,
school, sometimes some things you don't really want just because it's there you buy it. So that's how I think with educated people, you will hope that they will make better decision, their spending habit. But hey, I mean, like you said, I mean, people might be educated, but I mean, they could just be lavish spenders. So I don't,
right.
yeah.
I think some people are just lavish spender.
Mhm.
Like we do see that where either when like, for example, men that are, consider high value, they have a lot of money,
Yep.
they're very known in society. They want that trophy wives, like always look certain. There's a certain look they look for, and the expectation is they'll have this. What most people have noticed, those men always get women that are very, if they didn't have that look, they're not very educated, you
Yep.
know?
Mm-hmm.
um and their spending habit is a little bit out there, and like they don't know how the money is coming and they just want to spend it. I think that's like the I'm trying to find the word, like how people look at it, like she's just pretty, that's it, she don't have nothing else to offer. But then we also see those men, they like the women that they are, going to these meetings with, but that's not something they're going to bring. And I think that goes back to your point that you had earlier. Men want somebody that's domestic, right?
Yep.
Like most men generally, and if you look at these quote unquote high value men that are making, they're very well known in society, they want someone who's less like meeting them at that level of, let's have a conversation about this and that. We do see few that have that, but majority of the time they build that wealth together, and that's when you mostly see that. But for the majority of them, they're taking someone who's probably way younger, and they're in school. Then before you know, they're out because they're pregnant. And it's like, why do you need school? I'm gonna take care of you. So we see a whole lot of that, and it's like that power dynamic. But this one is just thinking because when we talk to when you see a lot of women, they'll say they want a man that's educated, or when you hear from men, there's a lot of there's a handful of men who want women that are educated. And it's like, I think once they get there, they can't really handle that because now you both are working 50, like she's going, you going, who's going to take care of the kids? You know, like that's something. But for me, regarding this topic, I was thinking about it, like I think it depends on the individuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I went back to just look at what researchers are saying, they're ideally saying yes, it's definitely important for someone to be highly educated because of all the other things that comes along. And as I read it, it actually do make sense. But then I'm thinking, does that work in every cases?
But Fee, before you go on with those great points, let
Mhm.
me ask you for your own. Let we get to those researchers' point because
Uh-huh.
that's where they get paid to do. Those guys got PhD and other thing, But from your own honest assessment,
Mhm.
looking at it from a societal point of view, knowing what you know, what you have gone through in life, your experiences. Do you think men they want beauty? If you had to choose between beauty with brain and beauty with all brains, which one you think majority of men will most likely go with? A beauty with brain, and sorry to use that word, but hey, I see a lot when you know how they post those beautiful celebrities. Somebody will just go on the put, yeah, she's beautiful, no brain, but so they got some of those bad guys. But do you think majority of men, majority knowing what you know from your own social point of view, excluding the research, do you think majority of men, what do you think they really look for? Beauty with brains or beauty without brain? Which one matters to them?
That's a great one, especially nowadays. I think if we're looking back, we would say back then men, let me just use the word, I think they used to call them in the US a bimbo. A,
Yep. Bimbo, yeah. Yeah, Donald Trump used that word one time. I never heard it for a long time. He called somebody a bimbo.
a bimbo. She's just a bimbo. You a bimbo basically a blonde hair, has a
Yep.
blonde hair, flowing blonde hair. She's considered pretty. All she gotta do is just show up. Like
Mhm.
she ain't gotta do much. Just put her lipstick on, wear that pretty dress, and just show up. But I think as society, I think if we're looking back like 20 years ago, yes, that was the situation from my assessment. I think a lot of men was just looking for just to look beautiful because I want to have beautiful children and be feminine. Like I don't need you to do much. It don't cost her that much. I'm gonna work and I'll take care of everything. But I think as time are changing, no,
Mhm.
Riley, go to daddy, go, bye bye. Sorry, guys.
Mhm.
So at times are changing. I think men, because society, like how the economy and things are going, you
Mhm.
do need that two power couple, as they refer to. Um, just give me one moment.
Mhm.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. I had to mute myself a little bit. But I think as time is going on, you need that second income and you need that support from that partner because the way things are going, I think a lot of people are pushing more now for both partners to be educated. And, beauty is so part of it. There's a lot of expectation. A man still wants you to be beautiful. A
Yep.
man still wants you to have some level of education or profession to be able to do something
Yep.
or some level of trade that you can sustain the family because nowadays you don't know, anything could happen. Like back then, if something happened, you have a family member basement you could go to. Now
Yep.
everybody's like, no, light bill's high, water bill high, don't come here. You are living high and mighty. Now you want to come here, So a lot of people are putting things in perspective, and I think now people are looking for more like a partnership, but the beauty is still there. I think every man fantasize and want their woman to be very attractive, that they find them attractive. As we all know, the same beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right?
Yep.
So I think the focus point 20 years back then when men were looking for a woman, it was like, how hot is she? Is she a bim? She's a bim. She's a bimbo. She's pretty. Like, I mean, look at her hair, like, wow, her eyes, her body, Now, women, I feel like women are thinking about that. That's what men are thinking about nowadays. But to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of men are really focusing on that. It's not like the actual focus now. It's more like, what can you bring to the table? We're seeing all these questions now. Like, what can you bring? What are you going to do? And then you hear someone, I'll cook and clean. Like, anybody can do that. What else do you know? Like, what do you know? What can you help me with? How are you going to help me, like, grow to this man that I need to be? So
Mhm.
I think most men, to answer your question, looking into the 21st century, and then as we're moving forward, like, men are looking for, what do you have? Like, what have you learned? Like, what have you done with your whole time? I heard someone say, you've been in the country for how long? And you go to school, you learn nothing, no skill, nothing. Like, what type of profession are you doing? Because now it's all about building a business or some type of entrepreneurship to build your own, empire. Everybody want that, but nobody want to work hard. And women are still, there's a lot of women still in the mindset, I just got to show up pretty. No, it's not that anymore. Like, things are changing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. 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 That was good.
Yeah. So we have a comment. The comment said the topic under discussion, education. Are you referring to the Western education, literacy? I am trying to contextualize the topic and follow discussion. Yes. We're talking about literacy, Western education, any type of education wise, like any type of profession, anything past, I would just say anything past high school level, because high school level is like your basic, right? Like,
Mhm.
everybody goes to high school, unless few people don't. They just get their GED, which just to have some type of education to add to that. I'm not sure if that answered your question, George. Welcome to the show, Anna. So,
Hi guys.
Hey, Anna,
hey,
how you
how are
been
you?
doing? I heard you were sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You doing better?
a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Welcome. We missed her.
I
Thank
know.
you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so Anna, we're talking about what is it called? Does higher education lead to better decision making in a relationship? Um we've just been covering, I've been giving some key points and just been, talking and covering whatever then in the comment section, I think River Pro just asked a question. So there, do you have anything to add other than before I share these other key points?
Let me just quickly read the question again. Does a higher level of education lead to better decision making in relationships? I don't necessarily think so. I think that when you're exposed, whether you're educated or not,
Hmm.
you can still make good decisions. Critical thinking is something that it's not everybody that has. Even if you go to school, it's not something you just learn. It's not, people can go to school, but they may not have the best critical thinking skills. So I think
Right.
that it's something that comes as a gift. You
Hmm.
can't
So
really,
you think critical thinking comes as a gift?
sometimes, yeah. I don't think that
Interesting.
education is what will make you like make a decision in your relationship. There are people that are well educated, but they're still stupid, like, and they still
Right.
behave. They're primitive.
Right.
I definitely think when you're exposed in life, you see things differently. Like the way your spouse may have treated you if they were in Africa, where like in a remote village where nobody goes there, rather than now someone that has never gone to the city, would look at a relationship differently than when they come to they, they go to the city, or when they're in the remote village. So everybody's thinking skills is based off of how exposed they are, not necessarily about how much education they have.
Let me
Wow. Nice.
yeah, I kind of like I mean, we had a researcher's point of view, which was kind of like
Right.
yeah, on the opposite side. I would kind of disagree a little bit with Anna. I think if you look overall in any society, I mean, you will find out that people who are educated, if you look at their home, you look at their level of how they carry themselves, their level of composure, like a lot of things they do, um, it's a little bit different from people who are kind of like, sorry, let me use the word illiterate. I mean, if it's okay. I mean, not
That's
necessarily
that.
all people,
Yeah.
or people who not, because I've seen people who are, yes, people who are educated, that doesn't mean they are perfect, but on the overall, if you look at their finances, if you look at certain aspect of their relationship, you can see
Hmm.
the gap, you can see the difference between them and people who are not educated, people
And
who
what?
uh-huh.
So do you think that that's because of their education? Do you
Yeah.
believe that they're successful businessmen that may not have not gone to to universities or higher level of education, and
Okay.
there are other and those same people may be
Mhm.
treating their wives nicely because of the value that they see in that spouse? You believe that's possible? I can understand why you're talking about statistics, but I don't necessarily. If you were to ask me that, do I
Mhm.
think that it has a level to play? I would say no. Don't scream at me, please.
Okay.
I'll say it has a level to education has a level to play, yes, but I think that exposure helps people think critically because they're exposed to a lot more different situations that cause them to really sit down and evaluate what their relationship is about. But you can still be exposed by going to other places, learning different cultures, but not necessarily you going to the top highest university before you can make critical decisions in your relationship. But yes, if you were talking about critical thinking as far as other things like making this other decisions, I can agree, because if you're in school, maybe you've learned a few things about certain aspects of life that may help you make
Mhm.
better decisions in life. But when it comes to relationships, it's an individual thing. So I don't think that education has to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
because
That's
I was
really
just,
interesting, though.
yeah, I was just thinking about, before I know Fee coming. I was just thinking about, because if you look at a lot of rash decisions that are made in relationship, they are made by people who lack education. Educated people will kind of like, you know what?
It's because they're not romantic. Is their
No, okay, Anna, you not talk. Look,
I
no,
don't come
no,
with a romance.
no, no, it's not. Look, educated people will seek counseling. They will say, you know what, something isn't right. All
Right.
educated people will say, look, you know what, man, this thing not working. Blah blah, go your way. But that, you know, educated people, I think
You
that's
will weigh out your options,
but
right?
that's
exactly.
because they know those things. That's why I said exposure. You don't have to go to school to know about counseling. If you know you have people, friends around you that can advise you on these things, it does not necessarily mean that if you know the resources around you,
Mhm.
So
you don't
how do you get
necessarily
those resources though?
like,
Because
okay,
because
I'll use
uh-huh.
myself for example. Like in my village, right?
Mhm.
They are nothing like a counselor. Okay. Everybody exposure is a very big thing in my
I
village.
agree.
When you have a problem with your spouse, you go to the next family member or the head of the family or someone that can can provide some level of advice or counseling for you guys without necessarily calling it counseling. So I think that anybody that says, "Oh, I don't want to deal with you because they didn't go to school," that person definitely is not it's not that they're illiterates or whatever. It's that they either have looking for excuse for not wanting to work their relationship out, or they don't want to go to someone else. They're just done with the relationship. But naturally, there's something called informal counseling, right? Which is where in the villages they will go to the mother of the wife, the father of the mother of the son, the husband, to discuss those differences. That is an informal counseling, but not necessarily paid by a therapist or something. So I think that if you know your resources, or in every society there's a different way that is done to achieve the same goal. Yeah, whether you're primitive or not primitive. But I think that if a person really wants to work their relationship, somehow they're going to figure out a way to fix it before they're not able to.
I agree with you to a certain degree, but I kind of I'm in the middle with this one. I think because when we look at like the reason I think I'm kind of like swaying towards what researchers are saying is because let me just read what it says. According to research, yes, a higher level of education is generally associated with better decision making in relationship as it can provide individual with enhance cognitive and social skills, allowing them to communicate more effectively, resolving conflicts constructively, and making more informed choices within a partnership. This can potentially lead to more stable and healthy relationship. So,
Okay.
like,
So
but
so
uh-huh.
before you say what you have to say. So when I'm hearing this, it's
Mhm.
talking about interactions with other people, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
when you guys talked about relationship, I was thinking more of like a romantic relationship. This
Yeah,
is
that's
more like
part
a
of it too.
so like
As you
a
said, in a
romantic.
relationship, right? So it could be a friendship, it could be a romantic relationship, it could be. I know we mostly focus on romantic relationship, but it also really do help in a romantic relationship as
Yeah,
well.
it has a level to play. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, for me, I'm looking at it more in the sense of not just romantic, but like
Right. Any
yeah,
type
Yeah.
of relationship.
Then
and,
you guys are right.
yeah, and
Oh
then
Lord.
more of a responsible one because people who are in romantic relationship, like I mean, they don't really care. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you come in,
Right.
you just want to have SES. I mean, you don't really care whether somebody educated or not because
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
your
that's true.
relationship is just
Unless you're
based
trying
on
to
that.
build a lifelong partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
but
and I
I mean,
think this adds to emotional intelligence too. I think
Right.
when you're educated, I mean your level of emotional intelligence is higher. So I get it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Right.
mhm.
So one of the key point was is improved communication skills. So basically, higher education often cultivate better communication skills. But I wanted to go back to when you said critical thinking is kind of like a gift. I never saw it that way because when I try to think about like the educational system in the US compared to back home, I think the US teaches you how to think critically, like to put yourself in any type of situation and get yourself out. Like for example, we both went to college. I don't remember where. I know there was lecture and stuff like that, but lecture was not like how back home it is. I mean, I really didn't stay long back home to really experience that. But from like things I watch in movies like that, like it's really different here. You're given a project or work to do. The professor go over a discussion, and then break you up in groups to solve problems, especially in science classes. Like when you go to lab, they will tell you what the project is under discussion, and then they have you guys take it back, go to daddy, go. Sorry you guys, my daughter is disturbing me. you know like they break you guys in a small group, and then you start to work on a project, basically for you to bounce off ideas from each other. So it's kind of like when I think about that, it's like you're you're trying to get me to think outside of the box to figure out, because most of my professor was like that, like they set you in a group setting, or they gave you a project to work on and just talk about the main points about what the project is about and what you're supposed to get out of this license, like they just say that, and then the rest of it you are to go and learn on your own for the most part. So I would think like a lot of people did well, but like your point where you're saying it's kind of like a gift. Huh. I thought that was something like you learn to think critical. I thought that's a skill that you learn. So when and the other key point said critical thinking and problem solving. So this is some of the support from a researcher. It said individual with higher education levels may be better equipped to analyze situations, consider different perspective, and find solution to relationship challenges. So when it, and you guys, and that was a great question, and I asked, like when we're talking about relationship, we're just talking about relationships in general. It could be a friendship, it could be a romantic one, it could be, whatever it is, whatever type of like your parents, siblings type of relationship. Like it helps you because when you're going to school, you're navigating different things. You're learning from your professor. You're trying to learn how to communicate with them. You're learning how to communicate with your classmates and your teammate, whatever project you're working on. So I'm just thinking like the researchers are looking at it from that standpoint. You've had the opportunity to interact with different people from different walk of life, and now when you're in a profession, you're working in an environment where you're bouncing ideas with different people in different departments, different areas, and you're working across the line with other people. So that boosts your level of education and critical thinking to a different level. I'm not sure what you think about that, about the critical thinking part, you guys. What do you think?
Yeah,
It
I
makes
think
sense. I'm not a researcher, but if they've done research on it, then
Right,
evidence-based practice is always the best. So
right. And then the other point is emotional regulation. Education can also foster great self-awareness and emotional intelligence, allowing individual to manage their emotion effectively in relationships. Actually, I kind of disagree on this one, right? I think emotional intelligence is something that is a skill you learn, but also it's something that it should be already in you. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of people that I currently work with. They're very educated, but do not have emotional intelligence. Like Anna, we had a boss that I feel like he doesn't have emotional intelligence. We
what does
both
he
laugh
think
because
this
I
is?
have to sit here and think about it, right? I don't think he has emotional intelligence because when I think about emotional intelligence, I'm thinking about someone who can consider other people but still manage their in a way. It's not my way or all way. Like I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
I would kind of agree with you. I don't think emotional intelligence necessarily aligns with education, and I think there are people who if you look at the word emotion, it's like it just sometimes it's kind of instinct. It's kind of things that sometimes it's just beyond people control. Let me. I mean, I don't know if this makes sense, but like let's say crying, mourning, crying, right? So there are people who, I mean, I don't even know if that's part of, but there are people who will cry for who will cry over some things. Maybe they will cry over the breakup of their relationship. There are people who will cry. They will be sobbing. They will, I mean, they will lose control. That's part of emotion. But I've seen educated people break down too. I've seen a lot of educated people break down when their relationship is in turmoil, when the relationship is not going good. I seen a PhD holder, a master's degree holder. I see them break down and cry. I seen my immediate boss, and he got like a master degree. Uh, One of my former bosses, the man shot himself. The man killed himself. One day I mean, in the morning, like 2 days, he and myself talk. The next thing he killed himself because he ain't work on separation. One of those high school sweetheart things. So they say he thought that they were gonna rekindle it. That he had worked all his lives and he ain't work and things didn't work out. The man shot himself. That's the man with a degree. A whole big director of a corporation. So I don't know if emotional intelligence has if I mean to some extent I don't know, but I don't
So
I
can
don't
I?
necessarily think it has a
That's
lot
a
to do
really
with
good
education.
point. Can I step in a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I think I would start off by defining an emotional intelligence, and I will talk about a little bit about mental health. Okay.
Yeah,
So, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions as well as other people's emotions, right?
yeah,
And then it says some key elements of emotional intelligence include self-awareness, being aware of your own feelings and how they impact your behavior. Self-regulation, being able to control your emotions. And then empathy, being able to understand the feelings of others, meaning putting yourself in other people's shoes, right?
yeah,
And then social skills, being able to interact with others effectively. And then when it comes to work and relationship, emotional intelligence can help you navigate social complexities, lead and motivation to others, and excelling in your career. And then relationships, it can help you manage your relationships and make you feel heard. And then stress management. Emotional intelligence can help you stay calm and collected under pressure. So, the reason why I brought this up is because you mentioned something about one of your bosses who passed away, right?
yep,
And then I want to talk about mental health, and then I'll get back to why I brought this up. Let me just look it up real quick. So that I define it based on what I see. Okay, mental health is a person's emotions, psychological and social well-being. It is essential of it is an essential part of overall health and affects how people think, feel, and act. So the reason why I actually let me read this part too. Um, Mental health is an important stage in everyone's life. It allows people to cope with stress, realize their abilities, learn well, work well, and contribute to their society. Mental health is more than just the absence of mental health disorder. It's a state of well-being that allows people to function in daily life. Poor mental health can increase the risk of physical health condition like diabetes, heart attacks, disease, and stroke. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to differentiate this is that there are people that may have emotional intelligence, but if they're dealing with mental illness or mental issues, they will not be able to regulate their emotions because you're sick. So you're not well when you're mentally ill. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you can be emotionally
Yeah.
intelligent, but you may be going through stuff in your life that causes you to not be well mentally. Like a lot of people back home are depressed, right? But because those mental illnesses or mental health issues are not very discussed or heard of, people just normalize the way they feel. But if they received the proper treatment or had some type of help to help them regulate how they were feeling, trust me, the issues that they're experiencing or the diseases or mental illnesses that they're having, there'll be a greater improvement of the way they react towards people, and it will also help with their communication. So now I want to quote people that are like, for example, like people who bipolar, right? One moment
Right.
they're really good, the next minute they're really bad. Back home we have a lot of those type of people that may be bipolar, but people will look at them and say, oh, this person has anger issues. But they
Hmm.
don't know that this person is dealing with other things besides what they're physically portraying.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I just wanted to clarify. I don't know if it makes sense, River says Pro.
Yeah. Yep. 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 It does. It does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you got into
Maybe
that. That's why I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, I know we both had a buzz, and I'm glad you read that definition. Because when I look at emotional intelligence, I'm like, even I have some buzzes right now that I'm like, no, you're educated, but something's missing. So
Yeah.
something is really missing. So it talk about um I think we talk about emotional regulation, life goals, and value alignment. People with higher education levels may have a clearer understanding of their personal goals and value, which can facilitate compatibility and decision making within partnership. Absolutely not. I don't agree with that one. I think that's flawed because there are people who are really educated, and you see the partner that they pick, and you're like, huh? Why?
That's what they call bad taste.
Hey.
Right. You're like, why would you even pick that? And maybe it's a very handful of people that do that, but I don't think it's always true with that one, in my opinion. I
They're going for
absolutely.
what glitters is gold.
Huh?
They're going for what glitters is gold.
So, so I said these are some notes. How education is not the sole factor. So there's a contrast to that. Um Is that Jimmy? Jimmy's coming on as him now.
Oh,
Wow.
my man. Mama,
Mhm.
how you doing?
Hey,
How you doing? How
don't
you
even
doing?
don't even talk to him, Anna. I'm not talking to him. We're not
I'm
talking.
happy
We
to
we
see
have
him. I'm
rules.
supposed to call him back. I'm so sorry,
He and
Jimmy.
I are not speaking.
Jimmy,
But
I owe
welcome
you
to the
one.
show, Jimmy. Cause Zulu.
I come in peace.
You're welcome, my dear.
I don't want peace. I want problem.
What's up, bro? What's up, my man?
Yeah, my man. I'm Bao. How you doing?
My man, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, same to you, man. Thank
What
you.
they happy about the Thanksgiving?
I think I made your face shiny.
My Shani, don't come here with your sweet talk. I feel what you say. We
Anna,
want
how
to
you
put the
feeling?
fact that he abandoning the show.
Yeah,
Anna,
man.
how
All
you
right.
feeling now?
I'm feeling better.
You
Oh,
should have
thank
called
you.
Anna and find out from her. We have a show going on, sir.
He called me. He called me. I just haven't been able to call him back. I'm so sorry, Jimmy. I'll make it up to you. I'll call you tomorrow since it's too late. Your wife will beat me up. So I'll call tomorrow.
So the topic under discussion. What do you have to add to it, Mister Kazulu?
What is the topic?
You didn't read the topic.
I'm
Does
not a
a
good reader.
higher level of education lead to better decision making in relationships?
My answer would be no.
Why not? Why? Why not?
Most people believe that education is civilization, but
Mm,
those are two different things. And better decision makings have to deal with the level of the intelligence of the person making a decision. There are some
Mm-hmm.
there are some people who have doctorate degree, but their better decision level is way down to elementary. And when you talk about better decision, it has to do with not just making decision for yourself, but making decision for the people around you, the people you care about, the people that care about you, and even the ones that you don't know. See, so there are people who just have a high school diploma and have better decision making skill. So it doesn't matter the level of education. You can have a higher level of education and somebody with a low level of education but have a very high IQ, can make a better decision than you. So
I
also
see your
in the,
point.
so also in a relationship, you know, um, it also apply in a relationship. Sometimes most people, in a relationship, they they base their seniority on their level of education or their level of achievement over the other person. But most of the time, you know, um, the person with the lowest level of education have the best decision and solution to provide in some of in whenever the relationship is going through something and um to save the relationship. See, so the level of education does not guarantee a better decision making.
I think, I think, I think when you look at the overall statistic, and when you look at uh overall performance or performances in life, you will find out that um look, as you know, it might sound kind of like especially for people who did not have maybe did not have formal education, but you will notice that even right now in this 21st century, every
Mm,
job you go to, they want a high school diploma or its equivalent. If that was the
Right.
case, they say, you know what, you can just come in. But I think their target is based on something like
Hmm.
that level of education. If you have it, your performance at the job will be now. Don't I know? Look, I work with some Hispanic people who some of them they don't they don't have a level of education. But then when it comes to pay raise, when it comes to promotion, when it comes to a lot of things, that's why you find out people will say they are being marginalized. But a lot of time you find out that people with better education, they are taken as first preferences. So, like I said, that's the reason they will say any job you got. Most of the job I work to, I don't know about all the jobs in the United States. They will ask for high school degree or high school or
They do.
diploma, yeah, or its equivalent, because their expectation is with that your better decision making. At least they want you to be able to read and write in some in some capacity. So I think education plays a key part. And then another thing, I think when it comes to finances, that's
Right.
that's one of the things that I think being educated really help, because people can sit and make better decisions. When I say finances, not just going to shopping, but sitting down together and kind of like, even when you look at salary wise, when
Right.
the salary of educated people in this country is
You
far
can
better than
negotiate though. You can know that you. Sorry, I don't mean to cut in, but
Mhm.
I see where you're going. You can be able to negotiate your salary based on what the average national is within your area. So if you're not and you're just going with the flow, you're just gonna get what you get.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so
That's why
let me
people,
come in.
yeah,
Let me
I come
come
in,
in
Jimmy.
a little bit.
Yeah, I come in, Jimmy. 1 second. That's why you see, look, one of my auntie, I get mad with her. The woman just going to school all the time. Get this one BSc, go get, yeah, she just all the time. I said, no, you woman, you're not even young again. You trying to, but I think that's why people trying to hit those high, because they believe that the more educated you get, your chances of, of making good money and living a better life, as compared to people who just get stuck to entry level job. Yeah, you may think you're getting along. Oh, I got a SIM card at the bank, but if you look at the amount of effort you are putting in it, like straining yourself, you cannot compare yourself to the man who has a degree. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's just my own little opinion.
Okay, how to call it? I don't want us to confuse decision making with performance. They are two different things. There are
It
people who,
kind of work hand in hand though, because if I'm making a decision, that
Yep.
kind of affects my performance as well.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
yes, but let's look at it. Let's look at it when it comes to performance. So let's say you were working at a Amazon, how to call it, facility where where they have a target that to you are supposed to package, like 250 uh, boxes a day.
Yep.
Right.
That's performance.
Mhm.
Right, but then you have to make a decision to think how fast can you get around with how they
Exactly.
taught you to do it to
Yep.
get it
Okay.
done effectively within a timely manner.
Yep.
No, but the thing is, the thing about performance, it come with, it has to deal with time. It has to deal with
And
speed.
strategy.
You
Strategy.
see, but
Strategy is the key though.
decision making, there are
Uh-huh.
people who are doing the work, and while there are people at the upper, echelon, who are making a decision of how to call it, those things are going to get out and reach to the customers. You see, so um, how to call it, work.
Sorry, Anna, if you can hear me, I don't know you're backstage, but it's not letting me bring you on. Can you go back and come back in? I'm not seeing you on here. It's not letting me. It just has your video. Oh,
Okay.
okay. I can add you now. Go ahead. Sorry, Jimmy.
Okay, so like the salary issue,
Hmm.
there are people who sit, in a upper room and decide how much the people who are performing, who are working, doing the hard work makes, and they make that decision in the interest of the company. You see,
I agree and I
so
disagree, Jimmy. I'm gonna let you finish, but I agree and disagree, and I'll give you why. That reason.
mhm. so
Go ahead.
um, so that go back to the topic. Level of education is very important. Don't get me wrong. I am not adequate, because we have to limit it. We have to discuss the topic. This is says relationship, in a relationship. So I want us to keep it in that environment. In a relationship,
Any
level,
relationship. We're not
yeah.
just focusing on romantic relationship, right? It could be, I think you missed a bulk of it where we read what researchers look at it, why it plays a key role, why it contributes to a better decision making in any type of relationship. That's why I just said in relationship. So it could be friendship, it could be family ship or whatever type of ship, but a highly educated person, you talk about, your cognitive decision making, like
Oh,
um
so so
emotional
when
intelligence,
we
communicating wise.
when
Uh-huh.
we look at when we look at education, education is relative. You know,
Yeah,
people
but
are
it's a
educated.
higher
People are
level of
educated.
education.
People are educated in various field. In various areas. Okay.
Right,
So
right.
when we talk, most of the time when we talk about education, we only think about reading and writing.
No, no, no. I think you miss a book of the show though. We've been covering everything. We're not talking about just reading and writing.
Hmm.
So
So.
so we're talking about educator. We talk about emotional intelligence. We talk about communication skills. We talk about a book of a lot of things we talk about. But I wanted to talk about what you just said before you make me lose my thought. You
Hmm.
said something about when races are being made, that's based on somebody's at the top making the decision. Yes and no. It's based on productivity of the business, right? And it also based on what the national average is supposed to be in that area. So when you look at, for instance, you give like Amazon, right? There are people working at Amazon, they're supposed to complete the same task within the same 8 hours, right? But there are a few people who are doing it faster than their co-workers. How are they getting it done? I'll give you an example. My husband used to work at Amazon in the past, right? And he was one of those people, when he come back, he's like, oh man, these people be adding more stuff to my stuff. I said, because the speed and the calculation that you're doing and the way you're doing it, you're moving faster and getting it done within a certain amount of time. So you're getting more. You don't have to be
So
educated, go and
that
sit
is
in the
performance.
classroom to do that.
That
I
is
understand that. I understand
that
that's
is
performance.
performance. That is
Yes.
performance. And
Hang
and
on. Hear me
and
out.
and
Jimmy, hear me
you
out.
are
Let me
not
finish my
paid.
thought.
You are not
Let me
paid
finish my
based
thought.
on performance. You
Wait,
are
let me
paid.
finish my thought. Let me finish my thought. I
Hmm.
get that. That's performance. But your performance also have to do with your decision making in that process. I can give you a boxes of stuff and say, hey, I need this done at this time. And yes, even though I'm measuring your performance or how you're doing it, but you have a decision to make to decide, how do I get this done within the time that they're giving me this. So you're coming up with a strategy how to get
Hmm.
it done, because other people are
Okay.
still using, let
So
me
you
finish
see,
now. Other
you
people are
are.
still using the exact way that they
Let's
taught
make
all
it
of you
so
guys to do
interesting.
that, right?
Let's make
But
it
I
so
have
interesting.
decided to figure
Hmm.
out another
Hmm.
way to get the job
Hmm.
done within this time frame for it to
Okay.
get done, even though that's
Okay.
calculated as your performance. But also,
Okay.
I'm making that decision to figure out another strategy to get my job done within that balance.
Of
And they're
course.
getting done. So
Of
I'll
course.
give you one other example, right? I have my teammates, right? My employees. They're given a task in an area. Let's say I need a OR in an OR with 3 OR rooms. I need that terminally clean and get done within 8 hours schedule, right?
Hmm.
And there are a bulk of things you're supposed to do to make sure it's ready for surgeries, right?
Yeah.
There are other team that I put there to get it done, and they're not done within 8 hours. I get it, that's performance, but then
Hmm.
now that's how you start asking, what are you doing differently that this person is doing to get it
Okay.
done? And I'm
All right.
still not getting the complete to get it done. So that person is
Okay.
using another strategy to get the
Hmm.
job done within the hours, right?
Good. Good. Okay. And you just made my case too hard. You just made my case. Oh man. I I I I
And
I I I
and
I
I
I
still can't see you. Go ahead.
I love your analogy. So here is the thing, and if you listen to my opening statement somewhere there, I say decision making depends on the IQ level of the person making a decision. And you see, it's not the level of education. You see, so if I believe, let's use your husband as a case study. Where he worked at that time, there were people there who have obtained higher education like than him, but work in the same, I call it, in the same, in the same area or department. You see, but the difference between he and the other people is that his acute, you know, before a product reached to him, he already calculated, how he's going to pack it, where he's going to put it, and all of that. You see, his
Right.
acute
He's calculating the wouldn't how would he know how to calculate that?
his acute level, his level of mind intelligence is way above some of the people who have master degree that work in that same area. I
I
I, I,
promise you, I don't think anybody
I,
with a
recorded-
master's degree is doing
I
that
have
packaging job.
I know. I'm telling people with master degree come in this country, and they have to work in some of the facility. They have to work, I call it I call it in the warehouse even before they start to get their feet around. But here is the thing, okay? I know fee.
But
You are very,
you don't think that
you are
level of
very intelligent.
education assists them
Hold
in
on,
that area as well?
hold on. I know fee. You are very intelligent at your job, at your workplace. I call it. You have bosses. You know, you have bosses, and those bosses, they depend on the decision that you make in your department, so that it makes their work easy. You see, so
I
so
know
some
that.
of them some of them have higher level of education than you. But guess what? Your level
Actually,
of
most of my bosses don't have higher education than me.
where
Sadly,
where
it's who you know. I'm just
uh-huh.
saying, it's
Okay,
who you know. That's the
okay.
business.
But I know people. I know people who level of education does not match some of the people that they work under. You see, but their level of decision making is
I
very
got
high.
you. Let's not
It
stand
is
up
very
because we're
high.
about to close the show, Jimmy.
So
I
in
don't
a
want to spend
relationship,
all the bulk of time on that.
and this is where we have to value people level of intelligence, and we take them at face value. Okay, fee. Most of the time in a relationship, most 9 out of 10 women make better decisions than men.
But women are highly educated than men, statistically.
Right?
I will tell you that most black men have an education for fourth grader, reading level. I will tell you that. We can have another debate on that. Statistically.
The way you saying it, I just imagine how Russell Pro is feeling in his heart.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
true. But there
but
is actually true. And am I lying? Statistically, women are highly educated than men.
okay. If
I'm not sure. The
until I
only
make that
statistics I
research,
know is that women.
I
You can
accept
research,
Okay,
especially
yeah.
when it comes to black men, when it comes to the black community. Yes, there's a lot of black men I read at a fourth grade level. Check it out. It
Can you
maybe
sounds
guys
like
hear
funny, but
me?
it's true. I'm telling
maybe
you. Go
Can
research.
you guys hear me?
Yeah,
maybe
check it
maybe
out.
Hello?
maybe the black men in your
Hello?
community.
No, black men in general. We can hear you, Anna. Black
Area.
Yeah.
men in general, the majority. We're not talking about the few that you know. We're looking at the average, the national average.
So
Average man.
what
Okay,
happened to
let me
black
tell you
women?
right now, right now,
What
right now,
happened to
right?
black
The
women?
average women make more than men. The average income of a black man in the black community, I'm just gonna look at that, is $40,000 a year. Look at that. Check it out. Even in the white
See,
community as well. Check it out. They make more than they make 50,000 on the average.
see, see, see.
Check it out.
Some of those statistics, or or research materials, are people, who the world is advancing every day. So what somebody wrote yesterday, it's possible that it's not accurate,
It's,
to
it's not
to
about
measure
yesterday. This is on a daily basis.
to this
I
day.
will send you guys the link to
Okay.
check it out. Check it out.
How to call it, and make sure the link that you sending me, is a scholarly link. It's
It
not
is.
just
Come on,
it,
Jimmy. Don't play with my intelligence,
it's not just somebody Google, or
Jimmy.
account you're going to send me.
Jimmy.
Uh,
But let's go back
yeah,
to
Don't
the
play
you
with my
guys,
topic.
you guys,
intelligence.
you guys are
Let's
going
go
off
back to the
topic.
topic, and
Right, thank you. So we have a comment. We have a comment from Peterson. Hey, Peterson, what's up? Thank you for watching. It said, "Good evening, guys. Education plays a major role. However, it's not a guarantee to better decision making." I agree. I can
Exactly.
realize
That's what
that.
we've been saying.
that's
Yes,
what I
I don't
yeah.
think.
education is training, coaching someone undergo to perform a task.
Hmm.
Decision making is more likely based on wisdom and insights. Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
So
yes.
And you get
subject
Level of
matter,
wisdom based on
intelligence.
wait, and you get
Jimmy.
wisdom. You get wisdom. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
It-
go ahead,
You
Anna.
get wisdom and insight from exposure and
Sure. How do you get
experience.
exposure?
When you interact with different
Interacting,
people with
networking, right?
yeah,
So ideal.
you don't
Mhm.
necessarily have to go to school to network, meet new people. Even from your job as a business person, you can still meet people that are well highly educated, or even people that are not highly educated, but they can still teach you something valuable. So I don't agree with going to school is like the sole factor, or the going to higher education is what will cause you to have a better relationship with people. I think
So
some part of it has to do with your personalities.
do you agree with me that higher level of education doesn't mean that I have to sit in a classroom? I could go learn a skill. I will interact with other people and all of that. That's all part of higher level of
That's not
education as
higher
well.
level. Higher
when we
level
talk
is
about,
Yes.
education.
If I went to go learn a
most of
skill,
the time,
you don't consider
Learning
mhm,
a
that as
skill is
higher level,
vocational.
huh?
Learning a skill is vocational.
Yeah,
When you
but that's
talk
still
about high
considered higher level.
No, when you
see,
talk about higher level of education, you're talking about anything after a bachelor's degree
High,
or an associate's
well,
degree.
after high school, I would
Yeah,
think if I
yeah.
have a
So
bachelor,
but
right?
someone going to vocational school learning a skill, they normally would just learn like handiwork, or like a skill that they can use in their day-to-day life, but that's not considered higher education. Higher education is anything after a bachelor's, or anything after, or a high school degree, anything after that, meaning something that is higher, you know. A vocational program is not considered higher education. It's
So
just a
let's
training.
read what this is, okay?
Okay.
So it said a higher level of education, okay, refers to the stage of formal learning that occurs after completing secondary education, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes on saying typically taking place as university or college or involving,
Exactly.
hold on, let me finish. Obtaining a degree beyond high school, also known as post-secondary or uh sorry, I can't even say that word.
Tertiary.
Yeah, tertiary education.
tertiary
Mm.
So
education.
right. Hold on that. Then it goes, it says Anything other turns, you could also learn a skill within a particular level of
That
stuff
they're
of
talking about like a major in a university, not
okay.
necessarily a vocational school. Because
Well,
vocational schools,
I
when you
could
learn
go
a
get my
skill,
associate. For example, right?
mm-hmm,
Let's say RNs, right?
mm-hmm,
They go and get their they go and get their prereq,
Associate.
right? And get hold on a second. They go and get their prereqs. You could do your prereq, right? Which is those science and those major one, and you get into the program and get trained to be an RN.
yeah,
So
that's higher education. Anything after high school, that's a university or that's a college. College and university
right.
are kind of used interchangeably. So what I was trying to say is that
Hmm.
vocational programs are generally not considered higher level. Higher level are
Okay.
usually university based degrees that you can have specialties like majors, like they can say business,
No, I
bachelor's in
know that,
this, or
but for
yeah, that's what
me,
I was
I'm
trying to
looking at it
clarify.
on a different aspect because if I already have an associate, right, and I went and try to get a profession within, let's just say, so my job, right, at my hospital, we have a program where you go and specifically learn within that areas, and you get the certification in there, right? So you're getting higher than what is that? I get it what the definition is, but for me, I'm looking at that from a different standpoint. For me, I'm thinking like you're highly skilled in an area where you're highly trained to get something done. So you're highly educated in that field. For me, that's how I'm looking at it. I don't know.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
So
Let's go back to the topic.
yes. So when it comes to decision making in a relationship, whether romantic, family,
Mhm,
or casual relationship,
mhm.
it depends. It depends on the level of intelligence of the person making the decision, not their level of education. All right. Highly educated people make bad decisions.
Mm,
Yes. In
why would you say
relationship,
that?
highly education, highly
And
educated
I
people,
don't know what's going on. You're
highly.
Oh,
Why you
okay.
keep
See you later. Sorry, Anna. Something's happening with Anna stuff. Go ahead. What
um
happened?
yeah, good people make bad decisions, bad people make good decisions. Highly educated people make bad decisions, low educated people make good decisions. So it just depends on the level of intelligence of the person making the decision. All right. So it doesn't better decision making does not depend on the person level of education.
So,
It either depend on number one, their experience in that particular area that they are making a decision in, which
mhm.
which has to do with their or not how they call it knowledge or wisdom in the field, or you know their their what is the word that I want to use, their their oh god, um the the environment that they found themselves, and how to call it, in making that decision, because sometimes people make good decision to sometimes people make bad decision because they want to get out of situation, no matter how educated they are, you see. But people, uh the bottom line is, a better decision making in a relationship does not depend on the level of education of the person. So let's
Okay.
say a person with a master degree or doctorate degree, when and get a teenage girl how they call it, how they call it, how they call it, pregnant, and ask her to take it out, and in the process she dies.
I'm trying to understand your
It,
example.
is it a good decision?
That he or she can consider that a good decision because that benefits them.
My man, I have more Ali example. Look,
Right.
it,
No,
it,
no, I like that example because everybody's gonna make decision that benefits them, right? So
Very good.
in that process, he's making that decision that benefits him, but also she has a
Okay.
choice. She
Okay.
can
So
decide. So
so
she
so
hold on. You asked a question, right? So
yeah.
he asked her to take out the pregnancy. If she was informed, right, she could make an informed choice and say, no, this is gonna lead to death. So I'm not doing it. So it's both people. One person is highly educated, the other person is not. And the person that's highly educated know that if you have this baby, it's gonna lead to this, it's gonna lead to that, it's gonna lead to that. So he
Mm.
or she is making an informed decision that benefits him. To you, it looks stupid, but to him, it's benefiting me. I don't have to do child support. I don't want to be with this person, so I ask her to. And then her
Okay.
not being informed said, "Okay, I'll do it," and she go do it and die.
So it's you a woman, right? Okay.
I am a woman.
Whoever child is singing those songs, I record the service has been over a long time, you know.
Right?
So
Come on, Jimmy, we gotta close. I have stuff
yeah,
to go do.
but but as a highly educated person, you should not just think of yourself. You should think.
No,
You
that's what
should
you're
think.
thinking.
You should think of the person, you know, that you are making that suggestion to. You know how they feel. Do you consider their feeling? You know, do you consider the risks that they're going to go through? So the bottom line is, I brought in that to say that people make decision based on their interest, you know,
Yeah,
and based on their their level of intelligence according to the situation that is before them. You see, so
I agree with you.
it does not mean, it does not matter whether the, you know it does not consider it, it doesn't matter how, you know uh how hard their education status is. It just depends on what is before them and their level of IQ.
yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead, Professor, because I disagree with him.
Yeah,
His ending, I agree and disagree with you.
Jimmy. I think you're trying to minimize this thing.
Right.
As far you, I think you're trying to minimize it to what happened in LeBron. You're talking about you take a better look.
Oh my man.
Not
In the
99%
in
of the
in
time. I mean,
in
I don't know which states you in, but abortion in America doesn't necessarily lead to death. Is the process there is legal. I mean, now Donald. I mean,
my man, every abortion lead to death.
no, 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 no.
What are you talking about?
No,
Eh?
no. I don't know any abortion in America yet.
Every abortion lead to
No.
death.
Planned Parenthood, go and look at
Say
Planned
it's
Parenthood
risky.
website.
It's the risk where you will. There's a chance of risk you will die, right?
I mean,
No,
so everything, even
but
surgery, when you
have
go
you
for
considered
surgery,
have you considered
Wait
the
now, let a man talk, Jimmy.
have
Let a
you
man say
no
something.
no
all the children,
No,
no,
all
but
the
no,
children,
let me say
you gotta clear
something,
the way.
Jimmy, please.
Look, an
No, no, no.
abortion. Listen,
Let Professor finish his thought,
every abortion,
please.
or how do you call it, involve two lives. The person carrying the baby, and the and the baby,
Jimmy,
uh,
please, sir. Let the
it's
man
two
finish
lives.
his thoughts.
It's two
Please.
lives. So every abortion has to do
Jimmy, I'm gonna mute
with
you.
a
Let the
loss of
man
life.
finish his thought.
So no, the thought
No,
is
no, no. You bought in. Come on, Mr. Pro. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Yeah, so yeah, I got all these children around me. They hitting the little cancer.
It's okay.
But the thing is, Jimmy, let me let me just let you know this. The reason we all aspire for our children to go to college, there's a reason that we don't want our children to be like us. We don't, for example, I'm just making an example. If we came in this country as entry level people and we reach certain age and we like no, that's where we get stuck. We don't want our children to be that. Just think about the reason why you want your children to go to college, because they have better. It's a whole lot of things. Better decision making, better when it comes to see when I'm talking about decision making and things like I'm not talking in terms of going pregnant teenage. I'm looking at if on a larger scale, like decision making in your finances as a couple, decision making in parenting, bringing your children up, decision making in how you run your home, like the purchasing and other thing. I'm looking at it for a larger scale. I don't want to minimize it to, isolated incident where maybe somebody go pregnant somebody
No,
and
uh,
they say
w-
go
w-
take out the
w-
better.
w-
That's
we are
that
talking about relationship. We are talking about
yeah, we
relationship.
talk
So
about
That
relationship,
involves
but
any relationship.
we talk about relationship, but I want us for me, I mean I can't tell you what to say, but for me, I'm looking at it on a larger scale, how beneficial it is to be educated. I mean, and you can see just around you, number one, I want my daughter and Fia myself, how frustrating we are when our children don't live up to expectation, when they don't go to college, because we know it gives them a
Right.
better chance in society, brother. The
And
factor you see
nobody
here
has to make the decision for you. So
for
if
you.
somebody's making a decision that affects you and you're aware and understand the risks of it, for the example that Jamie gave, if the young lady involved was very informed, so you make informed choices, right? If
Yep.
she was informed and understand, hey, the statistics of this, the percentage of this happening to me is this. I'm not going to listen to him because he has money, he's educated, he knows everything, and I don't. So let me go ahead and do it. If she know where his mind is and he's making self a decision for himself, then she can be able to make that decision as well. I'm not saying being educated is the rule of all that you will make the best decision. That's what the question said. Is it lead to a better decision making? I say at first I said no, but then as I'm thinking about it and going through this, I'm like, no, it does. It really does help you lead you to making a better informed choice. It makes you have emotional intelligence that you can navigate and communicate properly. So I do feel like I'm in the middle of that. It's 50-50.
Yeah, I think, and with the, like you said, a lot of those times, I don't think it necessarily has to do with education or anything. Like people get pregnant, like I mean, those things happen. It happens to everybody. Some of us who, we coming all having a rough life, pregnant people, daughter, and thing. And it's not. Yeah, it's not really.
You don't have to be highly educated to know that when you go do an abortion. But if you don't even know the subject matter of it, if you didn't push yourself to go learn, how will you go on the internet and research it? You have to be taught that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like for
Pia got a
example,
statement
back
up there.
home. Like back home, right? Back in the days, a lot of our people never used to come. They didn't have the internet at their disposal, right? So they weren't informed about a lot of things. Now, a lot of people are informed. They know why they don't have a higher education, but someone is informing them, which is a form of education and teaching them to know certain things to be able to make certain decisions. But I don't think just because you're up there, you know all the you are able to make all that decision. No, but I do think it does help you lead to making better decision in any type of relationship. So we're about to close anyways. It's late now. Peterson said a decision made in a relationship does have to be about one person. Doesn't
That's
have to be about one person, right? If a partner consider him or herself highly educated and wish to make a decision, he or she should consider risk and benefit. If a decision is only about yourself in a relationship, that may be bad decision. A good decision should be about your relationship and the safety about your family. Of course, I agree with that. But let's play an example. If I was from the village, right? And we know everybody have hating agenda. Everybody gets in a relationship that benefits them one way or the other. That's just plainly simple, right? So if I'm in a decision and the husband is the one making all the decision, this is why it's very key. The Bible says you should honor your parents in the Lord, right? So if your dad is gonna make a decision that will lead you to destruction, are you gonna follow them? If your spouse is gonna lead you to that, but if you don't know any better, like if I don't know better and you're the one in charge, you have the money, you have the power, you're highly educated, you brought me from the village, I'm just following your lead. Any decision you make, even though, yes, we might say it should benefit the relationship and whoever is involved, people are selfish by nature. So if I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, if I'm pregnant, like you men don't know when women are pregnant unless they start throwing up and stuff, right? How do you know if a woman is conceived and she go take plan B? You don't know that. She's gonna take a pill that benefit her because right now she wants to seek higher education. She don't want to mess up her body or whatsoever. So she go take the medication. Will you ever know? No. Because after 72, you're just there thinking like, yeah, we're trying to get pregnant. We're trying to get pregnant. But because she knows about that, she's informed of what can happen within 72 hours if she takes plan B, she's not going to end up pregnant. So she go take it. Or you, the man, know right now you're in law school. You can't handle having babies, and stuff. So your wife get pregnant or someone, whoever you're dating get pregnant. And you're like, oh my God, I don't want to mess up my life. I think you need to go to Planned Parenthood. So, and then she's not really informed that her doing that is going to affect her in the long run, or in that moment, she might end up dying or whatsoever may happen. We don't know because it's a risk, right? You're taking a risk depending on how far along you're pregnant. So the person go and do that, she's making decision on her. You're making a decision. She's looking up to you to make the decision. You are weighing out all the options that affect the family in that moment. So if you weren't informed and you're not thinking, okay, money wise, we don't have enough money right now. We're looking to buy a house. We're looking to do this. Having a kids is going to cost this. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. You're looking at the cost effective of everything and say, honey, I think the best decision for us to do is for us to do this, and you're the decision maker in the home. She's gonna follow that because she knows she doesn't have anything to say in that. So if she was highly educated and she knew she could do that, why would she? Like for me right now, you come and tell me and say, hey, we gotta take out that pregnancy because we don't have money. I will tell you, you better stop fighting and we going separate because I'm not. So what is he gonna do? He's not gonna do anything. So it's a both decision that affect both people. So if you make that decision, like the example Jimmy gave, the decision making where he said he has a master degree and he pregnant someone who doesn't have it, and then they went and took it out and died. Well, guess what? You that had the master degree, yes, it's not the best moral decision to make, but he's making a decision. He's making an informed choice that benefits him in that moment. So he do it. If she knew any better, she will tell him, no, I'm not making that decision. I'm not doing it. We've seen it over the time. Some men tell you, hey, I don't want my wife to know you're pregnant. Go take out the bed of that money here. And the girl come back, she pregnant with her stomach passing it around, and the wife find out. So who made that decision? She made her own decision. She didn't want to. You can make your decision all you want, but she's gonna make her own decision as well. So that's what I have to say. River says, Pro, did you want to add anything to that comment?
Well, I will just close right now. So
Yeah, go ahead, give your closing statement. We can
yeah,
close. It's
so
already 11.
yeah, this is a great topic. Thanks as ever, Fee, for bringing all these informative and educative topics. I still maintain that yes, education, be it whether I would just say education, whether it's higher or lower, but that word education plays a major part. Is it is I mean, it is good for relationship. It may not solve all the problem. Now, we're not saying being highly educated or being educated, is like a magic rod that will change everything. No, but what
Right.
it does is it gives a
Input are coming
relationship.
back.
It gives a relationship a better chance of being better. It
Mm-hmm.
gives a relationship a better chance of progressing, in terms of finances, in terms of better decision making in other aspect of your relationship, like stay trying to buy a house, which is something a lot of dreams couples want to do. They want to buy the home, they want to own a home, and so many other things, taking a loan, and a lot of things you have to be. I mean, education does help. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if if you are not educated, that's a whole different thing. But your decision making, there's no way your decision making will be better than the person who has the higher level of education in this country. Because, like you said, Fee, in schools here, I noticed something. The schools here are mostly, they're not like back home. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we had a better educational system when I was growing up back in, when I was a kid back in the 80s. But the people education here is more like, that's why people cry in colleges. How often do people cry in college, in university, in library? Everybody graduating. Yeah, I've seen people break down. Seriously.
Yeah.
There's a college in Milwaukee area. I've seen people break down, people cry because they don't spoon feed people here. Their colleges here. Yeah, that's why you got a lot of college
You got
dropout.
to teach yourself. You got to
Yeah,
fetch from the
yep,
information.
yep. And when they're ready to throw those assignment on you, when they're ready to throw those term paper on you, when you see those pictures, so their thing is more you know uh exploratory, and it is more, you have to do a lot of research. So while doing those research, what it does is it kind of open up your own understanding of things. It give you a broader perspective of things. Like, you would be researching something, the next thing you know, you dive into a whole new world. You're like, oh wow, so this is why this is
Right.
that's how their schools look at. That's how, for my little social work class now, I have developed a lot of things. It have even changed my look just by doing that social work, the psychology class. It changed my perspective on life. There were times that I saw certain people, I used to call them like, oh, they this or that. Now, when I started understanding human behavior, mental health, yeah, so many things,
You put
it
them
just
in the
changed.
fact world, right?
Yeah, it just changed my whole
Yeah.
perspective about people getting mad. Now I know why people do certain things the way they do it. So you see that
Human
education I
behavior.
have gained, I would never knew it if I had not gone to college here. If I had not, if I was still in Liberia, I was just see crazy people with put chin on their foot, because they are crazy. Yeah, yeah. I got to understand a lot. So that's what education does. It's so.
You understand the power of why.
Yeah, why? Why? So I think education overall, Jimmy, and Fee, look,
Yeah.
it is very important in decision making in our relationship. Period. It is. It is. It is. Look, two people don't have to. Now, we're not saying like the two people should be PhD holder. Like people like Fee there. But what
No,
we talking.
I'm
Peter,
working on it. We're
exactly.
working on it. We're
Exactly.
working
See what
on
I'm
it.
talking about? At least that one person gets something. When one person gets something, when the other person like, oh, honey, you know what? This is what I think. This is why my friend, you know what I'm saying? This is what my friend did, and today he got this. And your friend is educated, so now you're trying to get all those tricks from your friend, all those things. That's how it works. So yeah, I still maintain that education plays a vital role in building our relationship. Yep. Thank you very much, Fee. Uh,
Thank you, Jimmy. What's your closing statement? Please, 2 minutes. Go
So let's
ahead.
get bro finish speaking for 1 hour and
2 minutes,
and
Jimmy. You
like,
came late to the show. We gotta go.
Yeah, mama,
Give
you
your
okay,
delinquent.
2 minute closing.
Jimmy, you
okay.
delinquent, so we take your privilege away. When you start coming on time, then you
Okay.
2 minutes. Go ahead.
You, you know, I want to close on, you know, in buttressing my brother Peterson Walker's statement.
Mhm.
I will read it over. He said, a decision made in a relationship doesn't have to be about one person. If a partner considers him or herself highly educated and wishes to make a decision, he or she should consider risks and benefits. If a decision is only about yourself in a relationship, that may be a bad decision. A good decision should be about your relationship and the safety about you as family. Now, we're talking about decision shape, whether it is influenced by your level of education. Now, education is good. I will not disprove that education is good and it promotes our way of life, our way of interacting with others, relating to others and situation, etc. But there's a difference between the importance of education and decision making. Decision making are based on number one, people experience about or on the situation at hand, their understanding and their their level of intelligence, not solely their level of education, because when we speak of level of education, we are speaking of higher education after high school.
I give you 1 more minute.
Making decision in a relationship, like my brother Peterson said, and when you are making a decision in a relationship, you should consider not only you, consider the other person and consider the risks of that decision and the benefits that comes with it. If you make a decision to only benefit you and forgetting about the other person, that may make your decision a bad decision because you have not considered the relationship itself. You just consider you. And that's why I brought out that scenario about a man with a master degree or doctorate degree who live with a teenager and asking the teenager to remove the pregnancy. That person did not consider the next person. They just consider freeing
15
themselves,
seconds.
freeing themselves from situation. So as I conclude, better decision making does not or higher level of education does not guarantee a better decision making. So thank you
Thank
again
you.
for the 5 minutes I spent here.
What
I,
5 minutes?
you want me to plan
Thank you,
again?
Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, River Says Pro. Thank you, Peterson. Thank you, Anna. Thank you to our viewers. Who was the first people that were on here? Thank you, Emmanuel, George, Eva. Thank you, guys. Everybody that's been watching. We appreciate you coming on here. As I said, I know generally when we started the topic, I said, I don't think being highly educated means that it leads to better decision making. And I think I was looking at it from a romantic standpoint, like I'm deciding for the family. But when I look back over what the topic says, is like in general, it could be any type of relationship. I didn't specify what type of relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a platonic one. You know, like family, brother, sister, whatever type of relationship that you're entering into, it could be that. But as we read what the researcher says, a higher level of education is generally associated with better decision making. Relationship is associated with that, which means it kind of like play hand in hand. That doesn't mean it makes the final decision that you make. It's not always the case, but it's mostly lead to that, which we talk about. It helps you to think critically, having the ability to navigate complex situation, potentially leading to moral stable, like having a moral stable position in a communication style, your cognitive skills, and then also, however, your individual and personality, power dynamic, and all those things. It helps you navigate that. You understand what you're doing more better, because in retrospect, you're kind of like exposed to a different type of situation with working with a team or things like that. But that's not generally saying just because you're highly educated doesn't mean every decision you make is better, but it does help you. It does lead to a better decision making in any type of relationship. If somebody's ready to go rowdy, rah, 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 and start argument, you can be able to ease down and figure out how to communicate properly. Um, Ideally, the focus would be that you're highly educated, you have a standard of how to solve problems, problem solving skills that you've learned through your process of higher learning, that you can navigate any type of situation, whatever it is. And yes, we're human beings, things are going to happen, but the idea is that being highly educated leads to those better decision making, especially when you're faced with a business decision. You're able to communicate and, think through critically, how does it affect your business financially, and all of those areas, relationship, whatever you're building in order to build a relation, to build a business or whatsoever that may help. So definitely appreciate everybody feedbacks on relationship. Yes, we do agree. Just because you're highly educated doesn't mean you make a reckless decision that affects just you. But we all know, as human beings, we're selfish. We will make decision that benefits us. That's why it's good for you to be informed. Making informed choices and decision that benefits you or whoever you're with is important. But generally speaking, highly educated people, according to research, it is associated with better decision making, because you've had the opportunity to face different type of situation. You know how to compose yourself. So thank you guys. Thank you to our viewers. Thank you to Jimmy, Anna, River Says Pro, Peterson, Eva, George, Emmanuel, everybody that joined and contributed through the comment section or through the show. We really, really appreciate you. And we hope to see you again next week when we're here with another thought-provoking topics, and things that make us uncomfortable and talk about uncomfortable stuff. So we appreciate you. Thank you guys. Have a great week and happy end of the year. Happy December. We are looking forward to see how the year ends. So thank you. Thank you guys. I see you next week. Have a blessed and great week. Bye guys. Bye bye.